Hey, what up, yo? You already know what time it is, baby. Conversation with the Stars, hosted by yours truly, Uncle Black, aka the man who via the diamond. You never the main. And I got a legendary sister in the building. I hope you are ready for this one. Cause like I've been waiting for this one, and I just want to tell a whole lot of stories about this sister. But yeah, let them unfold. Hi, you, my sister.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You had a good day.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if was it my network or your network, but I'm back.
Oh no, like I made a big mistake. I forgot like I had my rain SIM card on and I had to switch. Like rain is very misleading.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. Oh, and thank
thank
you
you.
for understanding the whole load shedding thing. You know how network is, so I didn't want to have any interruptions during this interview.
It's okay. I appreciate it. Actually, respect it. I mean, I don't want to waste any time because we've tried this whole thing like a lot of times already. So
Yeah.
let's get straight to it, man. What give us a typical day in your childhood?
Oh, a typical day in my childhood. Yeah, so I grew up in Johannesburg. I grew up in Eldorado Park. And yeah, I think I remember we lived in Hillbrow back in the days, but it wasn't what like like it is now. But yeah, I was very close with like my neighbors, and my neighbors were actually my cousins. And there was like never a day that we were apart. So we always used to, as girls, because we were like a girl group, and they were boys, but the girls were always together and together mostly with moms. Um, but yeah, what I remember before I moved to Pretoria, we were like very playful, nothing like childhood is now. I think childhood is very different now,
Very,
but
very well.
it is. But yeah, very playful, being in the streets. I also remember back then my mom had a lot of friends in Soweto, so we used to visit Soweto quite a bit. And yeah, I think yeah, back in the day things are just not the same like it is right now. But yeah, but very close with family, very close with friends, and very close with my mom.
I thought you grew up in Eerstersust.
So, story is, I grew up in Eldorado Park when I was very young, and then I moved to Pretoria at a very early age. So, I moved here when I was, I think might have been 93. I moved to Pretoria in 93, moved to Eerstersust in 93. Yeah, that's when I met the rest of my family. Obviously, I was a Joburg girl. And, like being a Joburg girl, coming to like Port,
I
Eerstersust,
see.
yes, very Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, if you have a supportive family, it makes things so much easier. But yeah, if I had to think about the childhood back then in Eerstersust, it wasn't the easiest because I was an English girl. I was an Afrikaans girl, so I had to understand the ropes and how things were done. I was so used to what people used to say or refer to as girls in Joburg, which was so weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. And I tell you, bullying is real. Bullying is so real. I experienced that when I moved to Pretoria or to Eerstersust. It's real, it exists, and I can say that I went through that. But I'm a strong girl. I've always believed that, I'm tough, and I just took that. I brought that toughness with me from Joburg to Pretoria, and I had to learn. I literally had to learn the ropes. So yeah, and here I
So
am.
you had nobody like standing up for you?
No, I had to stand up for myself. Things were so different back then. I had to stand up for myself. Here's this English girl, and I met some amazing friends back then. I met girls that was from Eerstersust. We were in the same class, and they were very tough. They were tougher than what I was. I didn't know anything about fighting back then. So I had to learn. I literally had to learn, but yeah, it was amazing. It was good. It actually, part of that made me the woman that I am today, and I cannot take that away from anything.
Oh, let me say something crazy. The year you moved to Eerstersust, that's the year I was born.
Oh
So
wow.
like,
You just you
I've
you
been,
exposed yourself. You literally did. I only told
I've
you
got,
the year that I moved, so
don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
yeah, yeah. No, but Eerstersust is my hometown. Eerstersust is where I belong. Eerstersust is what I know. Through my younger years, going through my primary and secondary phase of my life. I've made so many friends, so many acquaintances. I've done so much. I've done so much there, and I'll always go back every time. And yeah, those are my people, man.
That's good. Like, I've been to Eerstersust once because I was actually in Amanskraal and my other homies were hosting an event at this local stadium. So like, I was surprised. I didn't know that it was a color dominated. When I got those, like, wait, whoa, what's what's going on here? And that's when I got an explanation. Like, no, this is a color dominated industry. So you being from there, colors are known for being violent, relentless, and all that kind of negative stuff. How did that shape you? How did that impact your life? Are you
Oh
also
my gosh.
tough?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You must watch out for us colored people, hey? I'm joking. No, we don't. I wouldn't say we violent. I guess it's just no. I guess it's just when you come from a background, there's certain things that people just put on you. Whether you're black, you're white, you're colored. If a white person is fighting with a black person or a white person is fighting with a colored person, the experiences will be different, right? Number one, we as colored people are very vocal. We are vocal human beings, and we are vocal because we are passionate human beings. We are so passionate about what we do, how we do it, when we do it. And when we do what we do, we say what we mean. We're never going to just say things for the sake of saying it. We are going to tell you how we feel. And sometimes people can take that very, very personally. And it's okay. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think if there are people that are authentic in this world, it has to be colored people. So I wouldn't say
Ah,
that, no, 100%. I wouldn't say anybody must feel intimidated. But I would say watch your mouth, when you are around a colored person, because yeah, they do take things very personally. So
hey,
yeah, I think I'm very blessed to be a colored woman. I am proud, and I tell that to my daughter as well. Just be proud of who you are. You can't hide that. You are who you are, and you just make the best of where you are in that very situation as a colored woman.
like, this is a BR context. Like, I've always wondered, like, when you look back at your roots, how do you go about it? Like, we as black people obviously consult ancestors, traditional healers and stuff. How do you go about it?
I think growing up from a young age, we all come from support systems. There was a very good reason why I moved from Joburg to Pretoria, and it was to have a strong support system. And my family being very spiritual, and my family being in church, and our family being very close and very close. I think for me, families always lay a foundation, and especially when you're so young, you learn from elders. And when I moved to to Pretoria, I still had my grandparents. I still had, my mom. My mom was still around, and I still had her sisters. And I had a lot of family members that I could go to, I could talk to, I could turn to. And although I was young, when you are young, you go through a lot. You face a lot of challenges. You do things that are very stupid. And you think you know it all. And whilst you're going through that, thinking that you know it all, there's people that with wisdom. And at the time, things just do not make sense. But I can definitely say that You know, for me, if I look back now, without that foundation and the support that I had with my family, I definitely wouldn't be the mother that I am today, or the sister that I am today, or the friend that I am today, or the colleague that I am today. You know, at the end of the day, those are the things that groom you. And yeah, I always look back at that, always.
You know, like it's kind of crazy. Let's look at this now. You were bullied. How do you get the confidence to become a model or a pageant? Because you're bullied, you lack confidence. Where do you get that?
I always say that any talent or anything that has been given to you is something that was given to you from God, and you can't hide from it because it's something that always stays within you. So I remember when my mom was alive, you know, before I knew I wanted to become a singer, I always had talent. I always, you know, I could always dance or sing or like model.
Oh,
And I remember I always wanted to be this like model. And I used to watch all these pageants, and I would sit there with my pen and my book, and there will be this Miss Whatevers, and I would be like a judge. I would be like, okay, I know who's actually going to win this pageant because I'll be taking down the, you know, the notes. And it was like that for the longest time until I realized that is something that I really wanted to do, become a model. And yeah, I guess through, you know, things happened in my life where I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And then at some point I did. And for me, it wasn't really about confidence, because when I entered this pageant, it was more me trying to find myself and trying to find the confidence as a woman within an industry. When you're young, it's very different. When I was in Eerstersust, I modeled so much. I would run away from the house just to model, just to find out that I'm winning the pageant. And then in the taxis on Monday, everybody knows that Genevieve won the pageant, you know? So, you know, I went there. Exactly. Like, I didn't know that I was going to win the pageant. I really just
yeah,
went, like, but yeah, I remember I was
yeah.
I won Miss Pretoria City. And I mean, I didn't tell my aunts, and you know, I told my mother. I wasn't living with my mom. I was living with my aunt, and I was like, you cannot tell her, not knowing that I'm going to win this very big pageant, and I won Miss Pretoria City. And it just seems big, but it's such a very small community. Everybody knows everyone. Everyone talks, you know. And oh, Genevieve was Miss Pretoria City.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. I did a Miss Spring pageant, and everybody heard Genevieve was Miss Spring. So I just realized, like, you know, if you can't hide, you know, you've
Yeah.
got this talent, you made for this. So chances are you're gonna go and do it again without telling anyone, and you're going to win, and they're gonna find out, and they're just gonna be mad at you.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's a beautiful struggle. You know, like I think last year I was interviewing a model from Polokwane. She said a crazy story. Like she would win, just like you. She would run away and win, but all her prizes she would give to her friend because she couldn't go home with them. I was
Oh,
like, "What?" So I'm guessing it's a similar thing. Like it's kind of
it's
crazy.
true. It's a true
So like,
story.
so you had multiple talents. What did you love like about modeling? What is it that you love the most?
I don't know.
What
I
mod?
think, you know, modeling is about expressing your inner self. That's what I see when it comes to modeling. Yeah, back then, you know, if I think about it, you know, my body was different, and I was insecure about certain things, but there was something else that always helped me to just walk and smile, and yeah, you know, just being my authentic self, although I felt I was too thin at the time, you know. But I think, you know, I've always been a confident girl, but with that confidence comes so many challenges. But it was also my way of hiding, was my way of expressing. It was my way of, you know, saying like, yeah, you could be a bully, you can do whatever, but I can do this, you know. Especially, you know, if you're a young girl and you're new to this community, you know, women are always going to look at you like, look at her. And
Yeah.
there was just no way that I could let that happen, because I was very ambitious from a young age. And yeah, I just had that confidence within me, like from the get-go.
I like that. You know, it's kind of hard to be confident. Like, it's very hard. Like, it's
It
crazy,
is.
especially when you try to do something within the entertainment space. It's a bit crazy. So, like, what's the biggest misconception about modeling? You know, like I said, I used to think it's about beauty, being well spoken, and having a great body. Like,
That is that is the misconception. If you think about some of the pageants that's taking place within in our country and around the world, so much has changed because of the misconception about being perfect. You know, you have to have long legs, you have to have straight hair, you have to have high cheekbones, you know, you
yeah.
have, you know, big feet, or whatever the case might be. It was like that many years ago, but I think things have changed. Then that dynamic has changed, and it's important for our young girls to know that, you know, you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't mean because you're a bit curvaceous that you can't get into a modeling agency or into a pageant. We need to teach our girls that you are perfect just the way you are, and that anything is possible.
Thank you, thank you. Speaking about perfect,
Mhm.
I know, like, you have to protect your image as like a public figure. Do you ever have to fake humble and be someone you're not, just to kind of protect your image? Like, maybe someone is
No,
being
I'm
disrespectful.
always myself. I think my daughter and my sister hates that about me sometimes, because I'm so um, I'm so real, and they're just sitting here and, like, you know, but I believe that, you know, to number one, make this world a better place. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Because if you are going to, number one, if you're going to try and be someone else, your life is just going to fade away, and you're going to turn around asking yourself, what happened? What was that? And by the time you think of being yourself, it's going to be too late, right? So, yes, I guess in life you go through that, where you're looking at, you know, I'm a big Beyonce fan. I'm a huge Beyonce fan. You know, I've got other people that I love and I admire, but Beyonce is like, you know, she's like an idol. But I know I could never be her, but I know that there are things about her that I want to perfect. I could never perfect her image. I could never perfect her craft. I could never
Mm,
perfect who she is as a person, but I can perfect other things, you know? So there's nothing wrong in being a strong woman and being inspired by someone else. No one says that
yeah,
you have to be like them. You can look up to
mm,
them, and you
yeah,
can pick certain things about them, but not who they are as individuals. You're always your own person. I am a very open person. I'm very loud, and I'm loud, you know, and I'm always, well, at least I try and be myself, if I could say that. I'll say 99.1% of the time I am myself. Sometimes I can't always be myself, because it depends of where I am in the situation. Am I in the office? Am I being a leader? Am I being a mom? What am I doing? You know, am I, because you do play certain roles within your life. You do play certain roles of who you are every single day. You know, you're not going to speak to your mom and your dad like they're your friend. You're going to speak to your mom and your dad as a child at the
yeah.
end of the day. You know, when you leave your mom and your dad, you're going to go to a friend, and you can be like, "Hey, you're my mom. She gave it to me." You know, and even though she gave it to you, you didn't backcheck, you didn't give her a hard time, because you know she's your mom. But the conversation you're having with your friend is so different, because now you can just like be yourself, be who you are. And I think that is so important. Like, because I always say this. I said this to somebody within this week. Actually, I said, I'm in an environment where I love the people that I work with. I love everybody, but it's because I get to be myself. And if you are in an environment where you have to be someone else, you need to get out, because it's not for you.
Mm.
not for you. So they say you glow from the inside out. That is a true story. It's so true. So it's real. It really is. So I would just say be yourself. Don't try and be anyone else. And if it's difficult, just work on it every single day. Do that.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, like one of like the greatest thing about
Dog.
no, it's
My
okay. It's just a
dog.
beautiful thing.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
No, I'm saying it's okay. Like it's just a beautiful pet making love to the
Yeah. Okay.
environment. So like I can't speak about some other things. So please tell me the highlight of your modeling career.
The highlight. I think the highlight was when I was going through a difficult time as a woman, trying to find myself and just being able to, go through those trials and tribulations and finding myself. Sometimes you have to step out of your own shoes to realize, what it is that you're going through, what it is that you need to experience sometimes that you were never ready for. So I think that was a highlight for me. Just, I think knowing that you can go through really bad times and you can come back and bounce back from it.
That's actually very strong of you. Like that's very strong. I commend you for that. So let's move on to like those challenging parts. You were diagnosed with cervical cancer, which is very, very scary, like super scary. Like, what was your
Yeah.
first reaction when you got that?
Sure, it was super scary. I remember that year, very same year. My mom was also very ill. So she was ill and I had actually lost her. And then I had to go back and I had to do tests and they were like, okay, this is confirmed. And yeah, it was a hectic time because at the same time I was dealing with the loss of my mom. So it was really hard to almost like balance these two things that's happening in my life right now. Not knowing how I was going to survive or live without a mom, and then having to deal with this very scary thought of having cervical cancer. Thankfully, it was caught really, really early at the time. So I think that gave me like peace of mind, but still very scary because I was so young. And as our our relatives and uncles and aunts, they're still so old school. So they're not like young people who's like trying to figure out things and to do
Yeah.
things. So they only have one thing in mind. But very scary, very, very scary, I must say.
Like before we move on, I want to say like rest in peace to your moms because we're speaking about it for the second time.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I hope she continues resting in peace. I did my research about cervical cancer, but I can't just sit and
Yeah.
say I know about it. I know people don't know about it out here. So like, can you please just explain to them what really that is and how dangerous it can be to women?
Yeah, so cervical cancer is a cancer that lives within your cervix. It can happen to girls as young as 10. The stages of where it starts is usually not as severe because when you catch it early, you still have a good chance.
Oh man, you're having a bad connection. I think we're gonna have to retake that question. Let me just quickly do this so that we can get this network all fixed up. Yeah, I'm getting her back on. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for being so positive and loving in the comment section. I see y'all been following the big sister for quite some time. Shout out to her. Yeah, she's coming back just about now. So we continue with the work.
I'm back.
Yeah, so I did not really get the answer, so I think I'm just gonna repeat the question, okay?
It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go back and say that cervical cancer starts as early as with girls as young as 10 years. And yeah, you know, cervical cancer is something that can be caught early. If not, you know, the severity of it is that you would need to go for a full hysterectomy. I think I was really very fortunate and blessed to have been able to catch it so early because I didn't have to go for hysterectomy. And a hysterectomy means that if you do have to remove your womb, you know, you'd never be able to have any more kids. And even if you do have or get cervical cancer, you know, sometimes chances are that you would not be able to, but I mean, the chances are minimal. But there are ladies, there are women that unfortunately go through those procedures where they can't. Um, I think just in terms of how to deal with it, you know, if you do find out that you have cervical cancer, go to your, you know, you obviously going to have a doctor, but don't just go with the first doctor that says, hey, we're going to start with me. It was different. I didn't have to do like any chemo or whatever. I had to do radiation. So I did radiation for a couple of months. And yes, it was a process because it wasn't like I got cervical cancer and it never came back. I had cervical cancer and it did come back, and it had to be dealt with, obviously. But yeah, you know, I just think, you know, for women or young girls, it is unfortunately something that some of us have to deal with at some point in our lives. But it's important for you to go for your monthly checkups or yearly checkups, you know, for pap smear, because that's where you find these things out. Yeah, when you do go for your womanly engine checks, make sure that the engine is well oiled.
Yeah, you know, like ladies go through a lot.
We
Okay,
do. We do.
like we have male diseases, but it's not as much. Like we have prostate and stuff, but no,
Yeah.
man, y'all go through a lot.
Yeah, that's why you have to look after the ladies. You got to look after the women, right?
Hey, we try, but y'all take advantage. But so, like, how challenging was it? I mean, you were a mother by then. How do
Yes,
you
yes.
even?
I had my son at the time. And he was pretty young. He was pretty young. I think my son must have been like a year old. No, I'm no lies. He must have been like 3 at the time. But yeah, God has been very good to me. I did not just have him, I had a daughter. So, you know, like I say, just look after yourself and you will have kids. I don't ever think that you'd never be able to have kids.
Okay, I'll get to that. So,
Mhm.
I understand there were moments where you felt like giving up, where you lost hope. Like, where did you
Yeah,
draw? Where did you get the strength from? Like, who to get inspired? I mean, that's crazy.
yeah, it is. You know, life is such a crazy thing. You know, life has its ups and its downs, and the one thing that I especially now I think about is things are so seasonal. You know, things are seasonal. You know, you like today it's so freaking cold and it's
Yeah.
raining. You know, this morning it was
Yeah.
raining, but then the sun came out, and there was all these seasons in one day. And I guess like that's what life is about. You know, you have sunshine, you have the rain, you have storms,
Yeah.
you have clouds. And if it's always going to be sunshine, um, and no cloudiness, like how are you going to go through life just experiencing sunshine, because that's not about what life is about. And I experienced that. I went through a lot of difficulties in my life, but I think it's where you are as a person and what you want as a person. You could, you know, be a fashionista, but you might want to be a nurse, you know, but you know, being that fashionista might be taking you away from being a nurse. So I just say go and be the nurse that you believe that you are. Go and be the nurse that you believe that you can be. And although things can be hard, I believe that, just pray about it. We do serve a loving God. And I believe that there's nothing that you can do by yourself. You have the
Yeah.
support of friends and family, and, but at the end of the day, you just have to trust and believe and don't give up. We get so distracted by things in this world. I'm one of them. I get distracted. I'm not going to sit here and be, oh, I'm so perfect, and I do get distracted. I do, I absolutely do. But I also do know what I want. I know the person that I want. I know the woman I am becoming, and the woman I am still becoming, yeah, it's like things can be tough, but you can undo it with practice. And, you have to go through this every single day. You can't be like, okay, one day I'm going to get up and I'm going to try. No, you got to try.
Nah, it doesn't work like that.
You got to try every day, because if you're not going to try every day, you're going to go through through a lot. And that is why this world, we have so many unhappy people, but yeah, being happy is really an inside job, and you got to work at it all the time, every day.
Thank you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This was like the most trying times of your life. What is the most valuable thing you've learned about yourself? Because like you are brave, like it's crazy. You're brave.
Wow, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question. Sure.
Hey.
I must be honest. I learn, especially now where I am in my life, I'm learning so much about myself. So there's not one thing that I can pinpoint out. I think the one thing that I can say is that I know that whatever I put my heart into, I can do it. I know that about myself, and I posted something on my Instagram the other day, from this pastor, and she said, you need to remember that you can reinvent yourself when you want to, and however you want to. There's no time limit to it. Just do what you have to. And I think for me, like, that stood out, and it's like it's been stuck with me like for the longest time. I know that about myself. I can do this. I can be like this. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Exactly. I can be, I can just be what I want to be whenever. But I also know that I have to be very patient with myself, always. But yeah. But I think I just want to let people know, like, just remember, you can reinvent yourself whenever you want to, wherever you want to. Do not let people put this thing on you. Don't be like on social media and be like, oh my gosh, oh, look where she is. And no, because it doesn't work like that in real life. It actually doesn't. Give yourself time and be patient with yourself.
We're so consumed with what's happening on social media. It's kind of killing us. Like it's crazy.
It's not
It's
real.
crazy.
It's not real.
God.
And I think we all fall within that trap. But I think at the end of the day, the nice thing, with what social media does is that it allows you to create a community for yourself. You do not have to. So yes, people put this whole thing out there. Oh, social media. Social media is exactly that. You have to be social, I'm a corporate girl. Like, I'm always like, I wish I had more time on social media sometimes, but then I'm like, I'm so glad I'm such a busy woman, because I do not have all the time in the world, but like Instagram, Facebook, all these platforms allows you to create a community for you. So you need to start finding those communities. If you're going to be scrolling and you're like, I don't like this person, and why are you here? Unfollow them, block them, but go and follow the people that is going to inspire you. Go and follow the people that you love. Go inspire the people that you want to, to inspire you or help you evolve. If you feel like, no, don't, just let it go, move it away, and then find the people that you want that is going to help you. don't make Instagram to be such a bad thing. Yes, we know it's not great and it's not real, but create your communities and invite people to your community. You could do that. No one stops you from doing that.
Oof, thank you. I like this. Like, no, you want to add something?
No, that was it.
No, okay. So I want us to move into the music, but you also posted something about GBV, which really touched my heart. You lost someone very, very close to you and from the very same community you're from.
Yeah.
Do you really have to deal with GBV these days? Like, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I guess my mom was also, you know, like very, very much involved in relationships where, you know, men abused her to show them their love. And unfortunately, I was at a very young age and I experienced that. And without going into too much detail, I think like that's the one reason why I'm so close to GBV. I support the initiative 100%. I also just want to remind, you know, viewers that at the end of the day, you know, women are also just women and they are emotional beings. And sometimes, you know, you might think that it's easy for them to walk out of a situation because you think if
No, no.
you were there, you would have done that. But you cannot judge from where you are sitting. You have to put yourself in that person's shoes, which is very difficult. But yeah, you know, unfortunately, we live in South Africa where, you know, things are at its worst. And, you know, if you are supporting any GBV community or platform, whatever, continue doing what you can do. We cannot change the world, but with a little bit of involvement, yeah, I think that does go a long way.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I've seen niggas abuse a whole lot of girls like in my lifetime. And I've also had some of my friends saying things like, if she disrespects you, slap her. Like, I'm like, nah. So I realized like we still have a long, long, long way to go. Like, it's not gonna end now, but slowly but surely we can try to minimize bit by bit. Like, it's crazy.
True. And sometimes you also can't, and I don't want to say like you can't blame the men, but you also don't know what walks of life that same guy comes from. It doesn't make it right. But I feel like you also as a friend and as a man at the end of the day, if he says something like that, that is your opportunity to really get into his head and be like, okay, what is it that you went through? How can I help you? How can I support you? And how can I help you to be a better man? You know, we can't just sit back and leave it. We got to take action.
Thank you. I hope every male is listening. Like, let's be responsible for once. Like, so, like, yeah, let's move into the good news, the music. Where does the love come from? When do you really realize that, okay, I'm talented? When do you know that?
Well, I like I said earlier, you know, I always like knew I had talents. I had many talents. And I remember when I was living in Eldorado Park when my mom was still alive, I always used to dance for her and her friends. You know, was always like in the lounge doing my thing. And I see that with my daughter. She is exactly the same. You know, I see a little mini me, you know, not to like just before this interview, she was doing a whole dance to my new song. You know, trying to tell me, because I've got a big launch coming up tomorrow, and she's like, you know, Mom, this is how you need to do it. So I think it was just that whole thing about, you know, I grew up with it, and music was always a love because I come from a family of music. You know, I always used to sing gospel in church, especially when I moved to Pretoria. You know, being in church and just being up there, you know, with praise and worship. And I'm just so grateful for that, because if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have been, you know, doing what I love, you know, and doing the music and putting it out there.
Yeah. Well, before I move on, was your mom talented in any way?
She was. My mom was a model, actually. She was a teacher and she was a model. And she was such a fashionista. Like, she was a woman of many, many talents. So I definitely got it from her. If you wanted to know where I got it from, it was definitely her.
Yeah. I see, yeah, like an apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a beautiful thing. So, like, was it church that made you believe that, okay, I'm ready now, I can record music and take it seriously? Was it you singing in church or what?
No, I wouldn't say it was church. It was, one day we were out. And I remember, I think it was in Sunnyside in Pretoria, and I was with a couple of friends and this one DJ, and I met a group. Denim. I don't know if you remember Denim, and yeah, and Bobo. It was Bo then, and he was like, "Listen, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for," and we had this whole introduction. And yeah, I guess, we chatted, and like a couple of weeks from that, I ended up in Dubai performing with Denim. Yeah, we were there for a couple of weeks over the December period. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. And the rest is history, hey?
Wait. Like, you're confusing me now. So, like, the first time you went to Dubai, it was with Denim, not with
Yeah,
Rohit Deep.
nope, not with
So
Rowie
you
Deep.
never went to Dubai with Rohit Deep?
Nope, I went to Dubai with Denim, the band.
Really?
Yeah,
What
true
did I
story.
see? I'm jealous, honestly, because Denim will never see it again. But you had a chance. I'm kind of jealous. I'm envious a little bit. So, like, let's move on to the iconic song. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Hey, you remember I told you, like, when I was born, right?
Yes.
You can understand from 9, 10 years or 11, somewhere there. It was
Yeah.
just playing. I didn't even know who's singing until it got on TV. I'm like, I love the video because I like these big puzzles, like those big chess pieces. I was like, oh, I didn't even know what I loved about like the
Yeah, it
video.
was like a whole Alice in Wonderland type of
It's
vibe
crazy.
at the time. Yeah.
I, I only got to understand the video now, but back then as a kid, I just loved. Like, I didn't even know what I loved, but it was crazy. So, like, tell me how that song came about.
Yeah, so I think when I started working with Denim, and I started working with Rowick Deep, Rowick Deep and I did I Don't Care, I Got Love for You. And I got this call this one day, it was gig superstar from Soul Candy. Soul Candy wanted to, work with Genevive. And I remember it was like, I was also young, I was like, oh my gosh, Soul Candy, like gig superstar, like, and I looked nice that day. And I remember walking into the
Yeah.
studio, and I just thought it was going to be like a meet and greet at the time. And it really did not, it wasn't really just a meet and greet. I think if I remember correctly, like we literally met that day, and we got into studio and we recorded the song, and that was it. I don't remember going back to the studio and having to do things over and over again. But yeah, and then yeah, the next thing you know, the song was big. And still a big song. I still perform it today. People love it, and it's very iconic. Yeah,
You still going to perform it after 10 years. Like, that's
I do. People love
that's
it.
the song of
People
a
love
lifetime.
it.
Yeah, we do. I hope to see you perform one day.
I hope so too. You must invite me to Cosmos City soon.
I share that to you. You don't forget. So, like, what? You don't have like a whole lot of music out there. I know people with 10, 12 projects, but they don't even have like a tune of that magnitude. How do you feel when you look back and you have such an iconic song?
I'm so grateful. I think I'm more grateful for the opportunity and having been able to work with like a record label like Soul Candy at the time. And they
Mm.
back now, right? They are back. And Gig
You bet.
Superstar, yeah, they back. Um, Gig Superstar and I, we have been friends for the longest time. We are not just acquaintances or business partners. We are, we're friends, mutual friends.
Oh,
And, you know, we're still working on projects today. We're going to be doing some amazing things. We've got some stuff coming up. So yeah, I'm super blessed, and yeah, you know, long live I don't care, hey.
That it's like I don't even know how to put it, but that's a forever kind of song. And I'm inviting myself to a studio session of you and Geek Superstar.
Anytime, anytime.
So like see you right.
Yes.
So like, I was interviewing you. She said house music does not cater for artists. Actually, for vocalists, it's for DJs and producers. How do you relate to that?
Well, I guess there's two parts to that. So there's a bit of it that is true, because if you think about the industry, you know, back in the day, I mean, if you look at I Don't Care, you had Dr. Duda, you had Gigs, you had DJ Kanyani on the track, and it was featuring Genevive, you know. So those were the pioneers of the song. But the biggest pioneer was actually the voice.
Yeah.
So without the voice,
Yeah.
you know, the song wouldn't actually have been what it was or what it is. You know, it is what it is after 10, 11 years. So it is a collaborative at the end of the day. It's true. I'm not sitting here and lying to you. It is. So it's not just for DJs. Unfortunately, the DJ needs the vocals. The DJ needs the vocals to build the song and to make the song what it is. So yeah, you know, you need it's like you need the instruments to fulfill to complete the music. If you don't have the instruments to complete the music, it's not going to be a song. So it is so important, and that's why I always say it's a collaborative thing. You know, you can't just have the DJ without the vocalist, you know. And you know, at the end of the day, you gotta work together to make it work. And I think that's why you see so many vocalists actually doing their own solos, because of what used to happen back then, you know. The DJ takes the credits, and I still get it. I still get it today. And people is like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was you song. It was, yes, it's Genevieve, it's me. Oh, really? Yeah, you know. So and that comes back to your point, you know, of like DJs think that, you know, the vocals is not, no. But yeah, you know, and that's how we learn at the end of the day, and that is why we're doing things the way we're doing it now. And yeah, and we will always work with DJs, because at the end of the day, they are brilliant at what they do.
I love that we had this conversation, because she was talking about the other side of the conversation. You giving me the other side, because she was talking about the performance side. Like, you don't get booked as much as the DJ. So like, you just gave me another perspective, which is very beneficial to a vocalist. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I used to beat my head up. Like, no.
Welcome. You are welcome.
You know, also, like, there's this, I don't know if it's me, but no, it's not me. Actually, it's a fact. It's kind of crazy. Like, those legends like Dr. Dura, DJ Christos, all those legends, when you look at them on social media, they don't have a big following, but in real life, they're so huge. Like,
they are big.
How is that happening? You included.
Thank you. I don't think I'm as big as them, but yeah, if I had to do any other projects, those are definitely the people that would be on my project. Definitely.
Genevieve, you made me dance without knowing what I was doing more than 10 years back. And even today, you're still dropping music that's making me dance. Don't even make me go.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
You're legendary. Like, please. So like, when you're in studio recording, how do you know this is the song that I want to put out as a single? How do you know this is the one?
Sure. You know what? You actually sometimes don't know, but I think my recent projects, yeah, I guess just how you know, we worked on it. I was at home. And, I just got the guys into the studio and like they slept over and I was just like, let's do this thing. And we recorded a couple of songs and we tried to, just get those songs done like, over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever. And we listened to the songs and we decided like, okay, what sounds great? What is going to be a banger? What do people want to hear? What's the hottest thing on the block right now? I just dropped my first on my piano track today. Yeah, so that's how, you basically like decide. You got to think about, the industry and where the industry is going. What are we doing? What people are doing. Because, at the end of the day, people jump onto things. It's not like you're going to put this thing out and they're immediately going to love it. So when I did these tracks, I was like, okay, I haven't been around for such a long time. I want people to remember me. So let's start with this. I didn't just want to come back, and that's how we start. Yeah, that's how I launched my single Higher, which was very different. And yeah, I also don't think people knew what to expect, And I think also just based on the feedback, it was like, okay, she's back, Is this what she's doing? But then they didn't know if there was going to be a second single, when the second single was going to come, and what it was going to be like, And boom, boom, boom.
You just decided to drop a bomb on us. So speaking about Higher,
yeah,
I want to know, like, what is the message you like behind the song, and what made you choose that very topic?
Yeah, so Higher was really about, in life, you as a girl or a guy, you meet so many people in your life. You could be 16, you could be 20, you could be 30, 40, 50, 90. And, within your lifetime, you're always going to meet that one person that makes you feel a certain way. You might see them 15 years from now, 20 years from now, but when you see them, they are going to make you feel the very same way they did the very first time you saw them or when you were with them. And yeah, the message is really about, when I see you, just know that that's where you take me. And not to be, whether you be in a relationship or not. It's just when I see this person, like, I get that feeling in my tummy and like, oh my gosh, do I still feel that way? Make us feel a certain way. So you take me higher, 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 higher.
Yeah, you're still getting butterflies.
Yeah, you do. Trust me, you do.
So, like, on your songs, how do you choose like who to work with, and how can people get to work with you?
So with this specific project, especially like this project, Higher and Take Me, that dropped today, these were guys from one guy from Pretoria, because I'm in Pretoria, and then the other guys from Joburg. And it really is word of mouth. I was sitting with my brother and I was saying to him, like, listen, yeah, like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And, it's like, listen, I've got this person. I've got a couple of people. And they came around, we chatted. And I mean, it literally took us like a week or two to like do the whole introduction. And we started working. So I do believe that, yes, we do have the old school brothers in the house and in the world, in the country and in your vicinity that knows it all. But it's important to give other people a chance. You need to give young people a chance, because they also want to show off their talents and they want to expose who they are. And if you think about Take Me, that's exactly what we did. These are young guys, that said, look, this is what I can do. This is what I can produce. So it doesn't matter, for me, you don't need to have a house album. You do not have to have a following, of 50,000 followers, or it's not about that. Are you passionate? Do you love what you do? Does it come out in the work that you do? I think that is what is important. Everybody needs an opportunity in this world, and if you can give it opportunity, do it. Just do it.
Yeah, people die for following and stuff, and what people don't really realize is that following is actually good for endorsements and all this kind of stuff, not for you as It does not define your career, but
No,
yeah. So,
not at
so like, take me. It's the first time you learn a piano.
yeah.
What is it that you love the most about Amapiano? Because like what I love about Amapiano is that it's our own. What is it that you love the most for you to even go into it?
Wow, you know what I love about Amapiano is that it is just so different. You know, I could listen to 5 different Amapiano tracks. They do not sound the same. They do not sound the same. I think that's what I love about it, you know. Um, if it was something like what or it sounds the same, like the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But piano's got its own twist, and I think the one thing I love the most about it is that there are so many female vocalists that's just jumping onto it, and they're doing such amazing things. I must be honest with you, it was not like my first choice. I wasn't comfortable, you know, doing it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I actually consulted with someone about this whole piano thing. And we had a little chat. And, you know, this person just said to me, don't run away from it. Try it, you know, test it, find what works for you. And I think that's where I am. You know, and I am working with quite a few people within the industry. Not just piano. And if you listen to Take Me, it's not full on piano. It's got a little bit of a house bit to it, and then
Yeah.
you've got a
Yeah.
bit of piano bit to it, and that is my sound. That is the sound that I want. I believe that that is the sound that's going to work for me. And the feedback that I got today is exactly what people said. Like, Jen, this is for you. So I yeah, the first, shall I say, the first of many. The first of many. Did you listen to the track? Do you love it?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
Yeah. I cannot listen to the track if I'm interviewing you today. Like, come on.
I just needed to check.
I
I
wanna.
needed to check.
I did actually. I wanna know like who's supposed to take you to the place. Like,
So we need to toast to that.
you know, in the song, you're talking more about like,
Shall we toast to Take Me? Cheers to Take Me and to many more.
she had to take me, but you're exposing my other side. That you're a bad sister. So like, is Take Me just a single, or are you working on a body of work? Is there a project coming?
Yeah, so Take Me is a single. It's one of 3 singles that I will be releasing this year. I am busy working on an EP, where I will be working with different DJs from Eerstersust, DJs from Pretoria, DJs from Johannesburg, DJs from Cape Town. Yeah, so it's vast, it's different. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it, and yeah, a lot in store, and yeah, it's really about pushing the boundaries. But it like, yeah, it feels good. It feels really good to be back.
Which genres did you touch on?
Yeah, so mostly house, commercial house. You know, I've always been a commercial house type of gal. A little bit of deep house, and then yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of the piano. And yeah, I guess I can't tell you too much because, you know, there's some tracks I'll be featuring on coming within this year still. But yeah, I guess I can just say look out for it. It's coming.
So basically, you came back like with full blast this year.
I guess so, you know, I guess so. And that's why I was emphasizing on the fact that, you know, sometimes you get to reinvent yourself. There's
Yeah.
no rule. There's no rule that says you can leave and not come back. Um, and yeah, I guess at the end of the day, COVID has taught us so much. It has taught us to be resilient. It's taught us to be brave. It's taught us to live life. It's taught us that life is short. And it's taught us to, you know, to be the best versions of ourselves and just to do what you love. And I think that's important. That is just so important. It's been the one thing that sparked a lot of what I'm doing right now within my career. And yeah, I think it's important for people to know that. Just be the best that you can be for yourself.
Yeah. And it also taught us to maximize, you know, just a perfect example. Look at Robot Boy. So like, yeah.
Yeah. I
what,
like
what,
him.
what?
I work with him sometime, actually. He's crazy.
Sorry?
Robot Boy, I like him.
He's a gem. Like he does everything in the industry. He
I'd love,
maximizes.
yeah, I'd love to work with him sometime. So I will see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I believe he'll be down. Like, come on, come on. So like, yeah, what's your secret talent?
Secret talent?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a secret talent? Hmm. I don't know if I have a secret talent. Do I have a secret talent? I think you already know all of my secret talents, you know. I'd say I'm a really good cook. I'm a really good cook, guys. Like, I really am.
Like really
Um,
good.
I am very good. I do not have a lot of time to actually cook, but when I do cook, ha, I'll invite you. I'll invite you one day. And, you know, I'm not going to brag about it on here, but you will have to brag about it on your next live with whoever and just say, listen, I was at Genevieve's house this past weekend and oh my gosh, she made the best whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's like a secret talent of mine that I could say. And you know what? I'm a corporate girl. Like I love corporate. I've always been a corporate girl. I've worked with so many different companies like in my past life and it's something that's within my blood. I excel at it and I love working with people. Like it's just my thing. So that's, I don't know if it's a talent. I don't think it's a talent. So let's stick to the cooking. Stick to the cooking.
Okay, let's stick to the cooking, which I can do. Yeah, but yeah, it's fine.
You definitely coming for lunch soon.
Hey. All right, cool. So like, I want to let you go. So I want okay, before I let you go, there's a young kid back in Cape Town, Angola somewhere, trying to be the next Genevieve, have the biggest song. And unfortunately, the finances are not really balancing. There's no real support. The structure is really shattered. What can you say to that person?
So I guess number one, I guess to the aunt, the uncle, the mom, the dad, the cousin, the brother, the mother, the father that's either watching this live, it's important to know that that child's dreams are valid. That child's dreams are valid, and whatever it is that they want, we need to do whatever we can do to support them wholeheartedly and to give them the support that they need. Without that support, they they can't do a lot. So remember, you know, as a kid, you go through so many different phases in your life, and especially now where we at, you know, kids go through so much daily. They have to deal with bullying, they have to deal with peer pressure, you know, and then they've got to go through this whole thing about not knowing who they are as individuals. And the best thing that we can do for them is really to just be there for them and listen and not judge and, you know, try and let them be people that they are not, or try and, you know, because sometimes it's like, it's church, you got to go to church and you know, sometimes it's not going to help. It's not going to change them. Let them be who they are. If they love music, arts, if they want to cook, if they want to travel, whatever it is, help them make that come alive. And to the child that's watching, it's important for you to know that when you do have that support, to never take it for granted, because those are the people that is giving you their love, that's giving you their last cent, their last rand to put you through school, whether it be art school, it doesn't matter what it is. You need to know that those hours that you wake up early to go to work, they do it for you. And it might seem tough when they're hard on you sometimes, but don't ever take it personal. It's always out of love. And if you want something, you need to go for it 130, 50, 40, just go for it. Don't let anything distract you. This world is cruel and it will take everything from you. By the time you open your eyes, you will realize that there's nothing left for you. So don't let that happen to you. Go grab it with all of what you have. And like I always say, be fearless, stay fearless, and just do it. Yeah.
Thank you. I like that you advise both parents and kids. I love that. So thank you. Thank you for coming
Thank
through. I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, keep on jamming my track, and I'll chat to you pretty soon.
God bless.
God bless. Bye.
Bye. Hey y'all, like keep on streaming. Go on and check the newest singer. Like it's out, it's banging. Why are you still here? Get away and go watch that thing, my nigga. Shout out to y'all, man. It's Conversation with the Stars. So, by yours truly, Uncle Black. We out of here, man.